All right, fight fans joining us now. Friend to the room, one of the hottest middleweights coming up in the game right now, Mr. Austin Ammo Williams.
What's up, brother?
Listen, the natural progression is happening. First off, thanks for joining us. This is a big deal. September 17th is going down the trilogy, Canelo, Triple G. You're on the card. A lot of fight fans are going to be there. Do you feel any pressure to perform on a high level that night?
Well, I fought Isaiah Jones.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was a huge.
Y'all remember that? That was one of my biggest crowd reactions, man. So I thrive off that energy in the room. Y'all put me in, Eddie Hearn, I think he realized that, the more energy is swelling in the place, the more I can get swelled in that energy and just give it back to people. You mentioned Eddie Hearn. I want to touch on this real quick because, he always believed in you early on in your career. I remember when you started fighting with Matchroom, how much he talked about you. And there was a period where there was some tension, but you guys were able to work through that. You were able to get past what you were going through and him having a gripe with you. And it's like you guys are back on track. What helped get that there? Oh, yeah, because, brothers fight. People fight. We go through it. I mean, we fought. Me and AK.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, no doubt.
We fight. You know what I'm saying?
We got through it.
It's all about having that heart to heart and then moving forward. Because it's all about that forward progress I've learned. I'm not in that stagnation of like negative energy and stuff like that. And, everything can be explained. I feel like all it takes is the effort to get the things right. And if you put the effort in, then things gonna be right. So
yeah, and I didn't bring that up to stay on the negative part, but just more so the positive part, how things are able to get worked out.
Yeah, me coming into Matchroom Boxing, they signed me and I was a young kid. I was 22 years old. So honestly, they kind of introduced me to the world and, everybody's watching my maturation into a grown adult man. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody like Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn, everybody a part of the team, they understand like these are young guys they sign, and most of the time it's like kids coming up, introducing them to the world. So I think he can take like an elderly approach to his fighters and understand that if the fighter, learns from the thing he's been through or puts in the effort to take wisdom from what he's been through, then we all get better and we all moving forward. So yeah, that's what I think solves everything.
Amen. I mean, come on, you got signed at 22. Meanwhile, you just started at 19. This ain't normal. This is actually amazing. You know what I mean? This is really crazy. But listen, you mentioned crowds earlier. I wanted to know what's the difference to you, if there's any difference, between a UK crowd and an American crowd.
Well, I think that UK crowd, they get very engaged, man. I'm talking about like fights break out in the crowd common. That's normal. Like I think they way more receptive to the energy. They take it in and then they push it out like in their environment right around them. It gets a lot of arguments and like, it's just a very interactive, it's a very interactive environment as to where like you fight in the United States with a big crowd. I feel like it's a little bit more civilized, but the people are pushing the energy more towards the fighters rather than like just pushing it towards one another. And that actually energizes the fighter more. So I love fighting at both. I think it's fun to fight at both. I got experience fighting in both with good crowds, and it's just different. It's different vibes, but they don't trump one another. It's like they both great. They both great in their own way.
Gotcha.
Ammo, we talk about progression. We all know that you're working with Cunningham now. As far as you kind of taking a look in the mirror and seeing things that you're doing differently in sparring or in the gym, how do you feel about your progression skill-wise with Coach Cunningham?
Well, you know what? Actually, I decided to make a change and go back to my regular team. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. My bad.
And you know what? There's nothing against Kevin Cunningham. I learned so much from him. I think I learned a lot of like life things from him. It was the perfect place for me to go after my life situation with the mental health and all the trouble that I got in and stuff like that. It was great to go to him, such a structured guy and somebody who could like, you know, level with me he's been a police officer. He's been in the military. Like he's lived, you know, through those extremely harsh environments and situations. And I think he was the perfect person to take me and kind of brush me up and, you know, give me some real knowledge and then send me back off.
So it served this purpose.
He served his purpose. Yeah, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He taught me a lot about the game, the boxing business. That's another thing I think he realized that like I got the skills and the talent, the ability as far as natural ability and stuff is there. So I think he took another route and taught me the game. He taught me the mind. He taught me the boxing mind as far as like the business and all that to another level, because he's been to another level that he can tell me about. And I was open and receptive to hear all of that, because you know, you gotta be firing on all cylinders to get to that top level and stay there, man.
Absolutely. So what was it, like your loyalty just pulling you back?
Yeah, definitely loyalty, man. I did so many, you know, I was in a situation, you know, where I didn't have anything, and I had to prove my loyalty back to my management company and my promotional company and stuff. So I was kind of in that situation where I had to show them that I was willing to do anything to keep the ball rolling at that fast pace that we you know, wanted it to be like from the beginning. And I was presented the opportunity to go to, you know, South Florida. I always said, for me, the best thing for me is a great environment. If I have a great environment, a healthy environment that can keep me stable in the mind and the body, spirit, and soul, then I'll always be able to perform at peak level. So him even taking me under his wing and allowing me to solidify my life down here, that was a major blessing that he did for me. So he really served his purpose. He came into my life as like a real beautiful gym, and he gave me knowledge and he gave me wisdom. And then when it was time for us to, you know, go our separate ways, it was no static at all. I think it was like a mutual understanding, you know. Nice. Almost like he gave me what he was supposed to give me and he let me go. Simple as that.
Serving the purpose, man. That's all we can ever ask with our own lives. Speaking of serving a purpose, how's your dog?
He right here. I don't know if y'all can see.
Yeah, we see him.
Yeah, we see him.
So he's really your best friend. He's beside you through everything.
Bro, at all times. I keep him with me all the time, man. He's the one I hang out with. He the one I trust. He the one that you know, it just is what it is. I can't say anything more about him. I'm one with him. It's just me and him, man. Really,
let me ask you a question, Amo. Have you ever? I know you bring him to the fight weeks, but I don't think I've ever seen an image of him actually watching you fight. Have he seen you fight?
He ain't seen me spar a million times, but he walking out with me. This fight is gonna be me. He walking out. I got something real special. But yeah, like I love to have him around because I trust him and he trusts me. It's like I trust my instincts and my instincts trust me. You know,
because I could imagine that if he sees you in battle, he's probably going to want to get into the ring, you know, to protect you to some. So maybe that's why you can't keep him in the stands. He might go crazy, but I'm looking forward to the ring war.
AK, you know what it's like, man. You show me your Connie Corso. You know what it's like. When they love their companion, they gonna
they'll risk their lives to protect you for sure.
That's crazy.
I want to talk about your approach inside the ring. Look, you're a knockout artist, 11 wins, 9 knockouts. We all know that the fight fans love it. The promoters love it. You know, that's what people want to see. Even though there's more to the sport, this is the sweet science. Right. But is that Amo's first approach when he's in that ring? I need to stop this dude. I do not want to go the distance. Is that your mindset?
Well, I think about Einstein, what Einstein said, like when you truly understand something, you are able to simplify it and you're able to give it to people in a way where they can understand. And I realized like the majority of people don't understand the sweet science. It's like science. It's like sitting a person down in an astronomy class and throwing all this jargon at them, and they don't know what's really going on. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna lose focus, and then they gonna deviate, and then they're not gonna want to see boxing again. So I feel like it's my job to bring real boxing back, not no sort of phony type of numbers games or popularity sort of thing. I'm talking about real, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran type of Tommy Hearns type fighting. That's what I'm bringing back to this generation. So I have to come with that tenacity to take people out, to hurt people, stop people, and do things that like the human mind can't even process at the moment. I was so happy when I walked out of my last fight against Cordell Booker. Like, people was like, I don't even know what really just happened. Like, what just happened? And that's what I like to do. I like to put stuff out there that's almost like supernatural, and people have to take time to sit back and process what's going on rather than go ahead.
After that fight, I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking to a fight fan, and he mentioned to me, he was like, he reminds me of a young Marvin Hagler. Now, this is obviously early in your career. Marvin's a legend, but how does it feel, that somebody's comparing you to a great like that?
Man, it feels awesome because it just goes to show like my name is correct. Ammo is correct, because I'm always getting compared to all of these different fighters, and it's funny to me. It's like, because I have them all in my arsenal. That's one of the things about me. I got this thing called divine reflection. If I can watch somebody do something, I can do it. I study. I take so much from so many fighters. I have no ego when it comes to that. I don't care if I spar somebody and they beat me up that day or whatever. I don't walk away sad. I say, what can I steal from this guy? What can I steal from this guy? And I come back and I negate everything he did. But at the same time, I take his stuff and use it against him. So it's all like, I like being compared to people because it's like, this sludge and this great mass of things I'm doing. It's fun to see how a person takes it and how they perceive it. And if it's Marvin Hagler, I mean, like, I'm doing great. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. It's not much better than him. All right, so I want to ask you if you've seen Danny Garcia after his victory over Jose Benavidez in the post-fight interview. He kind of broke down a little bit, talking about his struggles with mental health and depression, and he just wanted to let everyone know that it's real and it was tough, but he made it through and he was able to perform. What did you take from that?
Well, I ain't hear about it until you just said it, but I can share my own experiences and let people know, man, like, we all got stuff going on up here. Like, the brain is so complex. You got to take time to really sit with it and understand it. And when it comes to fighters, boxing is the most lonely sport in the world. So we dealing with something that's so high level. You putting your life on the line for a living, and you putting yourself in front of the crowd to be judged and whatever, putting your art out for people to see, and your physical health is attached to that. So if you don't learn how to really manage that, it's so easy to fall into depressions and things like that. So I love when athletes, especially boxers, open up to that, because acceptance of what's going on is the first thing to heal anything. And a lot of people think pushing stuff to the side and acting like nothing is happening is the way to go, but it's definitely not at all. And it causes that breaking point rather than that point of vigor when you just say, hey, this what's going on with me. And the best thing about it too that I've learned in my life is it brings this beautiful, beautiful moment of liberation. And for me, it ain't even just a moment. It's like my life is liberated, because everybody know Ammo. Everybody know Ammo might spaz. Everybody know Ammo holler, scream, yell in the camera after he fight and all that. But that's really the energy I have. That's really the energy I have. So I just, it's freeing. It's liberating to just be like, yeah, I ain't perfect.
Right.
Sharing is definitely liberating.
I like to ask
and other things that you share that you shared with us was your art. What's the last thing you painted?
Oh my goodness. Paint. I'm painting my house. I'm painting the whole house. It's turned to a mural. It's a beautiful thing, man, because like I said on the Ammo Show little video thing, I don't get separated from boxing from paint. It's just intricate and very, very sophisticated motions and stuff that I'm learning how to do. And I take these things and I apply it to my boxing game. So while these guys are doing 1, 2, 3 basic stuff, I'm doing things like this. I'm just on a whole different plane and wavelength. And then when I look at my paintings, it's like it takes me in a whole different world of understanding of who I am, because this is emotion that came out of my, body. So it's just a teaching thing, and the music is coming soon too, because I got the voice, man.
No, I like that analogy.
If you
man,
say so. What?
I like that analogy because when you think of boxing, that's what it is. Is when you go into that ring, it's a blank canvas. You could paint and do whatever you want in there. It's such an amazing sport. I like to ask my guests sometimes, Amo, like, what's the worst advice that you've ever been given in life?
The worst advice I've ever been given in life is to wait. Anything that's wait, I don't listen to wait. I don't wait. Is second guessing yourself. That's the problem. I realize everybody second guesses themselves, and it just takes that one time to second guess yourself to move your goal and what you needed to do to tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns to week, and then next week turns to next month, and then next year, and then the next decade, and then people end up ending their life saying all I had to do was take that one step.
What would you say is the best advice from one person?
To be myself. Trust myself. That's the best thing, to trust myself, to not take advice. Because advice, I'm telling you, man, we all know internally, if you deep enough within, you know what you need to do next. Nobody else can tell you what you need to do next. So I feel like the confidence and the courage that it takes to truly follow your dreams and your journey and write your own story, be the author of your own book, that's the scariest thing to do, but it's the most freeing thing to do. And once you do it, you'll never go back to letting somebody kind of puppeteer your life.
Maybe it's the wrong people that puppeteer your life, or the wrong people that give advice actually that ruins people's lives. Because I think counsel is good when it's coming from the right source. But you said that you don't like to wait. So let's just say this. If next fight you can get Charlo or you can get Jaime Munguia, which one would you fight and why?
I'd take Munguia.
Why is that?
I'll take Munguia because I think that it'd be a clash of like cultures. I think it'd be a bigger clash of like we can draw and pull in two major big crowds of people. Okay. And that's fun. I think that's fun. We're practicing the art of war. We're practicing war. So when you get somebody, who brings a completely different like tribe, even though I'm one with everybody, even though I am not like classified as anything, just as far as like the cosmetic of it, it causes a bigger fight. So for me, I think that would be the best thing to do business-wise. It can generate more interest. At the end of the day, I'm an entertainer, so I like to do the things that, generate the most interest. And I think a fight with Jaime Munguia would be the best, biggest thing and I think it'd be a great challenge for myself.
Well, before you get out of here, Amo, two guys that have fought at your weight class 2 times, Triple G and Canelo, are going to be on the main event. How's that fight play out?
First off, let me give my respects.
Right.
I got to give my respects because Triple G was the second fighter I ever watched. It was Roy Jones first, then it was Triple G, and I watched Triple G and Roy Jones for days. So I got to give respect to both of them. But when I just think about, I can't answer that question. I can answer that question out of respect for the both of them. I cannot answer that question.
I respect that. No, I respect that totally.
That's history. I can't blurt out something. I got to be really 100% solid on what I say for that.
Well, speaking of your journey, you're still writing your story, and on the 17th, you get a chance to add to that story. We'll be in the building, front center. Good luck, champ, and thanks for taking the time.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Love.
Yeah, peace.
Yes, sir, man. Take care, brother.